step, the journey to the cross, is just an experience in this world to teach you don't have to do that. So don't dwell on it. That's not the message. Move on. The message of the crucifixion is to teach only love and to move on to the resurrection. And that's what it says. If you can accept it as your own last useless journey, we don't have to do that anymore. You can join with me in the resurrection. Don't make the pathetic error of clinging to that old rugged cross. Oh, Jesus suffered. I have to suffer. He's just like saying, move on from that. That wasn't the message. The only message of the crucifixion is that you're not limited by it. You can overcome it. That's the message you should get. It says, until then, you're just going to be crucifying yourself over and over and over. And that is not my message. Never was my message. Now, people can distort the course. If you go back to what, as I mentioned before, what Robert Schuller said, hey, the Bible is quite inspirational. It's like eating a piece of fish, though. You got to pick around some of those bones that maybe aren't so helpful. If you look, there's only a few hundred lines, probably, that have been attributed to Jesus, directly to Jesus in more first person. And a lot of the other is just paraphrasing what people thought or have drawn from that. So the message of Jesus is always usually very direct and very consistent. This isn't his gospel. He didn't want you to suffer. He says, and we have another journey to undertake. He says, and he's trying to always remind us the one goal of the crucifixion is what is not in accord with the Holy Spirit's judgment is not even valid, right? So the perception that is not in accord with the Holy Spirit's judgment, and that's helping us within this world, is simply not valid. Move past it. That's the lesson. Then he goes on to say, if you're ready, then we're going to use all these lessons to prepare to undertake the real journey, to release the useless journey and undertake the real journey. And you might say, oh, well, he's just talking about chapter 4. I don't think he's talking about the entire course. If we will use this, we have a manual, a survival manual for the 21st century, the 22nd century, the 23rd century, and beyond, as long as we decide we need it or as long as we're here. And these can lead us out of our suffering and pain. And that's what we have to keep remembering. This can lead us out of it. So let's take his assist. Let's take his assist. Nothing that is out of accord with the Holy Spirit, with the perception of nothing that we perceive that's out of accord with the Holy Spirit can be justified. So hate and judgment and fear is not justified by him, by no means. There are no godly wars